I'm going to give you a breakdown of the NBA playoff series between the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers, and we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Alpha Omega. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to bet on sports like a pro and gain an edge over the sportsbooks, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So the Warriors series is in full swing, and as expected, the Warriors are laying the smackdown on the Rockets.
What the Rock is cooking!
While Houston has a chance to pick up a game at home, I think this series is pretty much over. We've seen the firepower the Rockets have, and they just don't have enough. Check this out here. Look where his feet start, and look where they end up at the end of the flop. I enjoy watching Harden play, but he pulls this stuff every year in the playoffs. He expects that playoff basketball is going to be called the same as during the regular season. And remember, I don't focus on what the quote-unquote letter of the law says. I only focus on what is going to make me money. And this is not going to win a tough series against the Hampton Five. That's not to say the Rockets won't take a game, and signing up for my NBA playoff package can help you make money on the Warriors-Rockets series. But barring a catastrophic injury to one of the Warriors' stars, this series is over. Let's say goodbye to another James Harden playoff run. Now, this past week has been good to Alpha Omega and AlphaNation. I've cashed big-time tickets literally every day this week. I had the Raptors in Game 1 and the 76ers in Game 2 to cover the spread. Cash. I had the under in Game 1 of the Celtics-Bucks series. Cash. I had the Bucks spread in Game 2. The over 220.5 in Game 2 of the Warriors series. Sprinkled a bit on the money line of Game 1 of the Warriors series just to add on. Even at minus 220, the Warriors had extreme value in Game 1. Then in Game 1 of the Blazers Nuggets, I cashed the over. Then tonight, I cashed the Blazers money line at plus 165. Then added the Blazers plus 4 for another cash. I'm continuing to roll with the $199 price tag for my NBA playoff package. I've literally cashed over 500 units so far during the playoffs, and I'm on an absolutely massive run. I feel as locked into these playoff series as I have all year, and that includes my massive run during March Madness. If you want to make money during the NBA playoffs, you got to sign up today. Hit the link in the description and sign up for my NBA playoff package. So after watching the first two games of this series, each team traded off shooting nights. In Game 1, Lillard wasn't shooting well, and the team as a whole just felt like they were still recovering from the emotional nature of the Thunder series. The Nuggets, on the other hand, entered Game 1 having just beaten the Spurs in a 7-game series. And it's obvious from Jokic's play putting up in Game 1 that not having a long layover between series affected the Nuggets in a positive way. In Game 2, the Nuggets only shot 34% from the field and 20% from 3. It's not that the Nuggets didn't get open looks, they just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Jokic also had a rough night as he only scored 16 points and seemed more willing to facilitate rather than asserting himself as a scorer. Good for me that I had the Blazers money line. This looks to be a potentially long series with value betting every game. Remember to hit the link and sign up for my NBA playoff package. Before I break down this playoff series, make sure and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where you can check up on my daily winners, sports betting news, and other cool stuff. Now that I've gone over how to make you money through sports betting, let's get into this NBA playoff matchup. The Game 3 Alpha Omega Vegas consensus line as of May 2nd has the Blazers favored by 4.5 points with the total sitting at 215.5. According to the betting market, the Blazers would be about a 1-point favorite on a neutral court, which is a significant difference from the first two games where the Blazers were underdogs. Home court in the NBA is only worth about 3.25 to 3.3 points per game, so the betting market has shifted its opinion far away from where it was at the beginning of this series. Let's break down a few of the factors that I think will decide the winner of this series. Not sure if you've noticed, but the Blazers haven't been making as many threes as they were in the previous series against the Thunder. While the Blazers have missed quite a few three-pointers thus far, I would argue that overall it's Denver's defense rather than poor shooting. The Nuggets rank second in the NBA in terms of opponent three-point percentage. That puts the Nuggets as an elite three-point defending team. While the Blazers' offense ranks 8th in three-point percentage, there is far more variance in three-point shooting, along with always beginning my handicap with the premise that defense is more consistent than offense. While this is not always the case, check these rankings and then look up the Blazers' three-point percentage for the series thus far, and you can see that in this case, the Nuggets' three-point defense has been far more consistent than the Blazers' three-point offense. Advantage Nuggets. An often overlooked stat, but an extremely important one in closing out winners, is a team's ability to hit their free throws. Just look at Game 2, where the Blazers hit 80% of their free throws and the Nuggets only hit 61%, including 2 misses by the Joker late in the game. For the season, the Blazers rank second in the NBA in terms of their free throw percentage. That stat basically means that if the Blazers get to the line, you can normally count the deuce. On the other hand, the Nuggets rank 20th in free throw percentage, which puts them as a lower third team. If you can't hit your free throws, you will not win close games. If Game 3 is close late, look for the Blazers to try to steal a point or two on missed Nuggets free throws. Advantage Blazers. Nikola Jokic is the key piece to the Nuggets' success and can also hurt the team if he doesn't play his game. Let's take, for example, Game 2. Joker scored 16 points, going 7 of 17 in 37 minutes with 14 rebounds and 7 assists. He shot less than 50% and seemed like he wanted to pass the ball more than he wanted to shoot. If you rewatch the game, you'll see that he penetrates into the post over and over again against Kanter, only to kick it out to a wing shooter rather than using his talent to beat Kanter for points. I'm not saying that Kanter can't defend, but Jokic is the superior talent by a pretty wide margin. In my opinion, Jokic's constant kickouts is what lost the Nuggets the game. However, when Jokic plays his game, the Nuggets can beat the Blazers. In Game 1, Joker scored 37 points, going 11 of 18 in 41 minutes with 9 rebounds and 6 assists. The Nuggets in turn won the game 121-113. This is Jokic playing his game, shooting over 50%, scoring over 20 points, and averaging right around a double-double. If Jokic is hitting his shots in the first quarter, I would live bet the Nuggets, especially considering they are underdogs in Game 3. The Blazers have no consistent answer for Nikola. Jokic is the key for the Nuggets if they want to move on to the Western Conference Finals, and look for Coach Michael Malone to get Jokic more involved in the offense early. Advantage Nuggets. For some reason, the NBA has been sleeping on Damian Lillard. After he hit this shot in the previous series, it's like suddenly the casual fans suddenly became aware of how good Lillard actually is. While that made me money in the last round, the fact that Lillard can take over the game at any point and strangle the life out of the opponent continues to show how important Lillard is to the Blazers' continued success. The interesting aspect in terms of this series against the Nuggets is that Dame Time didn't have a great game and the Blazers still won. What this tells me is that if I can correctly predict a game where Lillard decides to take over and drop 40 plus points, that is the game where the most money in this series can be made. While Jokic is an all-star player, I don't think there is a question that the most talented single player in the series is Lillard. I feel like Coach Stotts still hasn't figured out how to utilize his team against the Nuggets. When that happens is when the Blazers will blow out the Nuggets. Advantage Blazers. In addition to this preview video, I also have an NBA playoff playlist that includes betting previews for the 76ers Raptors series and the Bucks Celtics series. You'll see a link right here. I recommend that you click on that now. As always, in full disclosure, while I do provide a lot of useful info in these videos, if you really want to take your sports betting to the next level, you have to sign up with me, Alpha Omega. Currently, my NBA playoff package is only $199. I've had a great response to the $199 price point, so I've decided to extend the discount through the next week. So click the link in the description, sign up now, and you'll be ready to bang the books during the NBA playoffs. And if you want to learn more about betting on sports like a pro and gaining an edge over the sportsbooks, start now by hitting the round subscribe icon so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.